A carjacking suspect fled after a high-speed chase on Los Angeles County freeways into downtown Los Angeles. A dangerous pursuit involving a suspect driving a dark-colored Mercedes SUV occurred on the streets of El Monte and later on the 10 freeway in East Los Angeles during rush hour.
Miles per hour on surface streets through this residential neighborhood. LA County Sheriff's Office has pulled back, but you can see the airship is right over him, calling it out. They're tracking him with some type of a low jack device as well, so they don't lose him. But in any event, they just can't keep up with him on the ground. The driving, very dangerous. We only know of the driver at this point on board, and if we get a close look, you'll be able to see some damage on that driver's side. Looks like he encountered a big rig on the freeway, slammed into the big rig, and kept on going. So we already know of at least one collision, and at the speeds and behavior that we've seen here, it is very likely that somebody could get hurt here. You can see him cutting through this gas station back on, I think, Garvey Avenue. Again, doing a big circle now through El Monte to help you get your bearings. We're south of the 10 freeway, north of the 605, I'm sorry, north of the 60, just west of the 605. He was on the 60 for some time before they just completely pulled off, and you can see him continuing now without anybody behind him, but still driving very, very recklessly. These turns appear to be very random, very sudden, and almost like he's looking for a place to hide out. You can see him now right over the curb there. A very weird move here. Looks like there's some smoke coming from under the hood. He's going to tap that vehicle, looks like, and maybe get out of the car here. They are trying to basically get units into the area, but right now only that sheriff's helicopter overhead, Mark and Colleen.
All right, the erratic nature of this driving is what's really frightening, and the fact he just went past a pedestrian there. This is a residential neighborhood. If you're in this neighborhood, I'm not sure if the map information is correct, but try to, if you're in El Monte, just stay indoors, stay off the street. This guy is flying down these streets. He's barely able to keep control of the vehicle, and he's running red lights, running stop signs. So be very careful if you're in this neighborhood. Again, you mentioned that the ground units have been pulled back to try to slow him down. Any indication they might be re-engaging, given the fact that that doesn't seem to have worked?
At the speeds he's going, it's highly unlikely, although it may be a situation here where he puts himself in a position where he gets back on the freeway, and that will change things once again. In fact, highly likely they may eventually hand this off to California Highway Patrol. But once again, we are now a bit north of where this started on the 10 freeway now, westbound 10 freeway, where he is booking it upwards of 110 miles per hour, holding that number 5 lane there, now riding the shoulder, going around anybody in his way. They are tracking him from above, but at these speeds, you will not see any ground units get too close to him. The driving, way too reckless and way too fast, especially with all of this rush hour traffic that he's encountering now, coming up on Rosemead here on the 10 freeway, weaving in and out of traffic. Again, that is a Mercedes SUV. Not sure if the vehicle or if it's stolen, but it is a burglary suspect that they are chasing, and we believe.
Sorry for the picture freezing there. We're having
still
some
doing close to 100 miles per hour, Mark.
Yeah, Chris, we are having some transmission issues, but again, dizzying speed. This driver is absolutely cooking on these freeways, and of course, you kind of are happy if it gets to the freeway, but boy, right now, I would not want to be on the road. It's sort of, you're holding our breath here, thinking that what is going to happen? I just wish this driver would pull over.
Everybody is holding their breath. There's just way too much traffic for him to continue to navigate all of these lanes here, weaving in and out, using everything, including the shoulder at his disposal here, and he is still committed to the 10 freeway. So westbound 10 freeway, as we make our way, we're going to be here. We're going to be coming up on Rosemead now. We're just past. That was Rosemead Boulevard. So we're just past Rosemead Boulevard as we get in towards Alhambra, continuing to drive around all this traffic. Most of the traffic is on the eastbound side, but you can see still plenty of cars. In fact, just enough traffic that it's so dangerous, except there's plenty of road still for him to step on it. He's flooring it. down the 10 freeway right now at speeds only about 85 now. I say only because he was doing about 110 just a minute ago. And you can see the erratic driving continuing, showing signs of getting off, now back over the gore point and continuing to push the pedal to the metal here. Guys, this is very dangerous, but under the circumstances, this is where law enforcement would prefer to see this guy burn as much fuel as possible on the freeway instead of through those residential neighborhoods like we saw just a few minutes ago. He was doing upwards of 90 miles per hour on surface streets. Now getting off at Ramona Boulevard here, looking for a random place to turn into. But you see, he keeps hitting things. He keeps hitting the curb, running up on curbs. We know of at least 1 or 2 separate collisions already. What you don't see here is any black and white units getting too close just yet. They're relying on that helicopter right there to call out his position until he starts to slow down or show signs of maybe looking to dump the vehicle.
Yeah, let's try to orient ourselves a little bit if you can. You said it's Saxon and Jackson Avenue. He seems to be changing direction and moving here pretty quickly, so it's hard to tell. But have you seen any indication of pursuing officers on the ground? Is it only in the air at this point? The CHP?
Yeah, one block over. If you saw right there, there's about 3 or 4 units keeping their distance, but they are behind him. They're following him, but technically this is in surveillance mode. They are not coming up right behind him. That's for several reasons. A, they don't want to antagonize him because the driving is so dangerous, and also they don't want to create an additional danger for all of the other motorists and pedestrians on the road. You see, he got off there, now back on the freeway, and we're going to start to see this pattern continue, I think, as he just looks so desperate to just try and either, he's not going to get away per se, but he's trying to take this as far as he can until he finds a spot likely to dump the vehicle. In any event here, you can see he's once again going about 90 miles an hour. You'll see those units behind him, again, quite a distance, likely getting on the freeway right now. Those are LA County Sheriff's units, but California Highway Patrol also monitoring this pursuit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of the multiple agencies are following this pursuit. Again, it's happening right now in Alhambra. Again, we are on the 10 westbound. This driver is one that makes everyone nervous, splitting lanes, going so fast. And we were talking about it earlier. It's amazing. It is 5:37 and there isn't a lot of traffic on the 10 west. But again, it's only a matter of time before they will hit a heavy flow of traffic, Chris. And this is, again, a burglary suspect. And we believe that they are just a single occupant inside this vehicle, and they just absolutely do not want to be caught.
Yeah, and it's a combination of the speed of this car plus the fact that it's got some ground clearance, so he can kind of go over the curbs and the different things and not be stopped as another vehicle might. So that is an unfortunate fact for the pursuers, although you know that the CHP and a lot of other police agencies at this point are using SUVs themselves, so there is that. But it does add to his mobility. What's troubling here is how he's willing to use both of the speed and the ground clearance to try to get away, and putting a lot of people at risk. What's the traffic look like ahead of him? Seems like it's slowing down a little bit.
As I look up ahead here, he might encounter a little bit more, a few more brake lights up ahead, but for the most part, he's going to continue to weave through. It's not like bumper-to-bumper traffic where he can't get around it. He's just weaving through everybody in his way, and it's not only the speed, as you mentioned, Mark, but also the competency behind the wheel. He's showing signs of struggling to maintain full control of the vehicle, just the way he's been driving, and also we keep noticing some occasional smoke coming from under the hood here. So we don't exactly know what kind of condition the vehicle is in, but certainly it's good enough to go at extreme speeds, 100 miles per hour underneath the 710 freeway, continuing westbound on the 10 freeway now, past the City Terrace area is where we are now, heading right in to East LA. He will make his way into downtown in the next 10 minutes if he continues at these speeds, at less than 10 minutes, if he continues down the 10 freeway, and that's where things start to get real dicey. LAPD likely will be monitoring this as well, but the opportunities for him to hide out in the downtown area or in the East LA interchange, for example, go up tremendously. Right now, he's committed to the 10 freeway. If it stays on the 10 freeway, that's the best case scenario for everybody involved. I'm just so worried because the minute he gets off the freeway, it's not like he's slowing down. He continues driving extremely dangerously on surface streets. So as long as he's on the freeway, that's the best bet. But right now there is just enough traffic to pose a danger for everybody on the freeway, but also enough room to for him to maneuver around, and that's what's just so concerning here.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you see these cars, the drivers are really confused about what is coming up behind them because they don't see law enforcement with their lights and sirens going. So they just see this one car jamming up behind them, and everyone puts their brakes on because he's going so
over the Gore
fast.
Point, maybe getting off here, maybe at the
Goodness.
5. He's at the East LA interchange. The East LA interchange, looks like he's getting off at the 5 freeway. We'll see where that ramp right there puts him, but I think he's getting onto the 5. I'm going to say he's getting onto the 5 freeway. This will put him on the 5 North. You can see LA County Sheriff continuing right above him. I don't see the night sun on. Do you see it, Rob? I don't see it. It looks like the night sun is off, so they're just watching with their binoculars from the air and keeping a close eye with their equipment up there. You don't see any law enforcement in the picture yet, but they're probably just about a half mile to a mile back as they try and catch up with him, but they don't want to endanger anybody else unnecessarily. And now it looks like he may have taken the southbound ramp. This might put him on the southbound 5. So it looks like he's transitioning onto the southbound 5.
Okay.
That's a 2-lane transition road. Both lanes occupied there. That big rig right next to him and a van right in front of him. He's going to come right around, weave around that van. Anybody in his way, he's just weaving right around very dangerously, very erratically, not showing a tremendous amount of composure here, but still pushing the pedal to the metal, driving at extreme speeds at every straightaway he encounters.
And this, again, is a burglary suspect. He's driving a Mercedes-Benz SUV. We don't know which model. Dave Coons, if you're watching, maybe email me what you think it is. It's hard to tell from the air. But a very capable vehicle, clearly pretty fast. It's been upwards. We've seen it hit in triple digits. We've seen it hit 100 miles an hour and more. And as he's weaving through the traffic here, really dangerous here.
10
but
freeway.
He's
Looks
on
like he's committing to the 10.
Okay.
So he's in the smack dab in the middle of that spaghetti string of freeway in the East LA interchange. He had an opportunity to get on the 5 freeway. It looks like he's staying on the westbound 10, and that'll take him, if he stays westbound, that'll take him right into the Fashion District, and we'll see if he. Again, if he stays on the freeway, or if he is, if he's experienced at this, like so many of these guys are, there are opportunities across downtown LA to hide out and lose the police if you know what you're doing. And that's what we see so often when pursuit drivers who have that knowledge get into the downtown freeway. They know they have helicopters overhead. They know that they're driving fast enough where they're outrunning the ground units, and then they start to use those tall buildings in the downtown area to try and hide out. Lots of parking garages, lots of underground parking, you name it. Still on the 10 freeway, continuing westbound as he makes his way towards downtown LA.
All right, and the traffic, as you see, is getting thicker. You make the wrong decision about which freeway to take, and you are suddenly in bumper-to-bumper traffic at this time of the night. Depending on what freeway it is. And looks like it's thickening up even more as we speak. He may make a decision as to whether to stay on or to get off or to continue weaving as he has been doing. But again, there are no pursuing officers on the ground close enough behind him to cause him to speed up. He must obviously know that he is still being pursued from the air, and that may be the reason for the continued erratic driving here. This is a burglary suspect. One wonders if there is something else in this person's background that is making him decide to make this sort of a dangerous run to try to get away from police, or if it's just recklessness that the recklessness alone is the reason for his attempts to evade in this fashion. Yeah. But look at the traffic now.
Yeah, Mark, now that he's downtown, you can see traffic is slowing down quite a bit. And if history is any indication, he's going to look for an opportunity to get off the freeway. You saw him get on the shoulder there. He's encountering a lot more traffic on the westbound side. As I look up ahead, both the eastbound and westbound side of the 10 freeway, very heavy this time of the day as folks leave the downtown area. And you can see he's now getting all the way over to the left lane. So he doesn't actually seem like he wants to get off the freeway. He'd rather just weave through all of this other traffic here. But as we've seen in the past, He has no problem bumping into other vehicles, driving over curbs, you name it. He is just desperate to continue this joyride, as he now found an exit ramp that traffic was just too much, and as I suspected, he's getting off now at Central Avenue. So too much traffic on the freeway. We find ourselves, unfortunately, back on surface streets, not exactly a residential neighborhood, but still, as he makes his way south now on, that's going to be, I think, Naomi Avenue that he's on. Southbound Naomi Avenue. We'll see if that dangerous driving continues. It looks like he has regained some composure here, slowed down quite a bit. We'll see if he jumps the curb again, but you can now, but look at this, putting in reverse.
What's he going to do?
Maybe trying to squeeze through these two cars. Look at that, right through those cars, and now making a U-turn, heading back towards the freeway. Too much traffic on the freeway. He decided to get off. I don't think he's going to get back on because he knows about all that traffic. Instead, he's going to take this into the Skid Row area if he continues northbound here. And the one thing you notice here is just he has no idea where he wants to end up. He does not have a clear destination in mind. He is making this up as he goes along. Most of these turns are random, and on several occasions, even back in El Monte, just doing circles when he does get off the freeway here, just looking for his next move, or potentially, eventually, perhaps a hiding spot.
It's
At
incredible.
times, the suspect was traveling at speeds exceeding 110 miles per hour, erratically weaving between lanes with other nearby vehicles. The suspected driver threw the vehicle under the 10 freeway overpass after the chase and fled.
Here, they may get involved now that it is squarely in the LAPD central jurisdiction. You can see he had an opportunity, a couple of opportunities to get back on the freeway, but he knows about all that traffic, so he's still riding those surface streets, and then now under the 10 freeway as he continues southbound on San Pedro. Top left, there he is. Southbound San Pedro, was that, did the night sun lose him? The night sun lost him. I think he's under the overpass. He may be under that overpass. I think the sheriff's department may have been fooled there, because I think, and we've seen this so many times, guys, they find an overpass on Washington. I'm told he's on Washington. On Washington, we're going to, okay, so he's a block south, now making a right turn. I think he fell back there a little bit. Now he's making a right turn onto Washington Boulevard off of San Pedro Street. A little less traffic. I'm not sure if that's him, Jay. I don't know.
Let's look for the damage. Let's see if he had damage on the left side.
Here. We'll try and find. Let's get on the south side. I don't think that's him. No, that's not him.
The night sun is left.
The last time I saw him was under the overpass. The night sun kept on going south of the overpass, and this is how it happens. This is how it happens. So they're saying that is him? They're saying it is him at the red light. He stopped at the red light back on Washington. Oh, no, still southbound on San Pedro. Is that him? That might be him. One of those two SUVs. It was a Mercedes SUV. That's not that one. I don't see any damage there. The sheriff's department is saying that he has stopped at a red light on San Pedro in this area, and you can see they are pretty convinced because they have that night sun lighting up all of these vehicles. But unfortunately, from this angle, a little difficult to make out that black Mercedes SUV. At least it's not jumping out to me. I'm not sure if you see it, guys, but this is the intersection that they believe the suspect has come to a stop at in this traffic. I don't see him. I got to be honest. I do not see what they're seeing.
You know what I see? I see a lot of black SUVs.
Know, exactly.
I
see a lot of black SUVs.
And it's hard to tell from our vantage point which one is which. This guy hasn't stopped for a single red light the entire...